2 interceptions, the knockdown passes at the line, the 4th down stops. How would you describe the defensive performance by you guys today?
I think we're starting to hit our stride. It's not a surprise to us. I think we're playing to our potential now, and that's got to be sustained. We're happy we got the win, but we're not, ecstatic about what our record still is. We still have stuff to do, and people to prove wrong, people to prove right. So, this is a good building block to going forward in the season.
Kyle, turnovers is something you guys have preached kind of all year. In the first month or so, you guys just weren't getting them. Just what does that do from a confidence or momentum standpoint for you guys these last few games with that?
Yeah, no, that's huge, especially our special teams. Shout out to our special teams. Everybody on the kickoff. Jordan Stout punted well today. Keandre Jackson has been great for us since he's been active, and big ball energy is just out there making plays for us. And then also with Malachi and Marlon, getting those turnovers are huge. They're not only taking away points for them, but putting our offense in a better position rather than them punting and downing the ball inside the 5. Now we have the ball plus territory, whatever it may be, and it's dope to see everybody getting involved.
You mentioned, you're happy with the win, but not ecstatic. How does that kind of mentality? How is that driving this team? Knowing that you guys still feel like you have a lot of goals left in front of you.
Yeah, I think that's just who we are to the core. We could be undefeated and still feel like we have stuff to do, but I think what got us. Not trying to bring up the past. I think partially what got us to 1-5 was the fact that we came into the season maybe thinking, I'm not speaking for everybody, but we're the Baltimore Ravens. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. Teams are just gonna lay down and let us win games, and that's not how it is in this league. So we got punched in the mouth early in the season, but now I think we're responding well, and we'll just have that scar tissue going forward when we just start stacking wins.
I feel like almost that you guys needed a win like this, whereas maybe the offense struggled to find its rhythm till the third quarter, and you guys kept giving them chances, and it sort of was the defense and special team story today. Do you feel like you needed to win a game like that?
Yeah. I mean, it provides confidence for both sides of the ball, but I was literally just joking about it. I'm like, there's been maybe a handful of games where both sides have played well since I've been here. It's very complimentary, it seems like. But that's just how this league is, man. It's you never know what you're going to get on a day-to-day basis. You have a plan, but you need to have plan B, plan C, all the way down to Z. And everybody needs to be comfortable with what we got going on, and we step on that field, just go make plays.
Holding Justin Jefferson to 37 yards on 12 targets, I believe. Just what do you attribute that to?
Good corner play, good scheme by Zio, everybody involved. And I think it's just a nameless, faceless opponent kind of thing. He's obviously one of the best in the league and has a bunch of records, and deservedly so. He gets all the recognition. He's a great receiver, probably future Hall of Famer kind of guy, and he's him, as the kids like to say. But but when you line up across from whoever it may be, you got to think you're going to win your one-on-one, and I think that's what everybody on that field, whether you're a corner, a safety, a D tackle, or a linebacker. Now, I'm sure the offense feels the same way, but this game comes down to winning your one-on-ones. So I think we won more one-on-ones than they did today, and that's why we won.
Is it fair to say the defense kind of has its swagger back?
Yeah. No, actually, no. We still got work to do and stuff to be done, but we got to work on our celebrations if we're gonna say that we have our swagger back, because some of our celebrations are bad. But at least we have stuff to celebrate now.
Gasser celebration after the Brooklyn.
Yeah, so this was in Saturday walkthrough. We were like, we need to come up with a celebration. So it was actually my idea, so I take fault. But I just watched like Coach Carter or something, and I was saying whoever made the play. So in that case, Roquan, and it didn't even count. And now we're in the end zone running suicides. Now we're tired, getting back to the huddle. But whoever made the play is like kind of walking across the goal line like this, and just like making the other guys run like gassers, whatever it may be, like a basketball team. But it didn't even matter. So maybe I'm glad that one just got thrown out, though. We'll figure something else out.
One more for Kyle, or we good?
Kyle, you were one of the ones early saying Malachi Starks is going to be just fine. He's playing well. The ball hasn't come to him yet. So sort of, indication of the work he's put in and how steady he was early, that he's starting to make plays, the ball's starting to find him?
Yeah, I mean, God forbid a rookie takes more than 7 games in the NFL to get adjusted. He is progressing just fine, and it's no surprise to us. You see that in the offseason. He's 21, I think, years old, but he acts like a 31-year-old. Like he's been in it for 10 years, and he's back there making calls. He's back there encouraging guys in the locker room, all this stuff, and you can see why he was so high on the Ravens board, and I'm sure a lot of other teams' boards, and why people at UGA speak so highly of him. And that's just the guy he is, the player he is. He's just been showing you the past few weeks, and I told him after the game he's only going to build on that, and I can see it in him that he's going to get so much better, and it's going to be a problem.
All right, thank you, Kyle.
Appreciate it.
First of all, just our condolences to Commissioner Tagliabue's family and to the amazing, amazing leader he was in the National Football League all those years. As I think back, even as a kid, Pete Rozelle and then Paul Tagliabue, that was the National Football League. So he's legendary, and the league would not be what it is without Paul Tagliabue for sure. And then also to Marshawn Neeland's family. I mean, just what a tragic thing, but what a good young man he was. And when I think back in Western Michigan, that's where I met my wife, in Western Michigan. Ingrid, who's sitting right there, and he and I had that conversation about that in the draft, and just what a good person he was, and to his family, he raised a good boy there. He's a good young man. We had 2 birthdays. Daniel Falele, happy birthday, which I neglected to mention in the pregame celebration, and Dr. Tucker. So happy birthday, Dr. Tucker. And then what a great win. Win based on faith and guts and faith. So the passage you're going to get this one was, it was not by their sword that they won the land, nor did their arm bring them the victory. It was your right hand, your arm, and the light of your face, for you love them. That was the verse for this week. And we leaned on that. At least I did, for sure. But, what questions do you have? I'm just proud of the guys. What questions do you have?
The defensive performance today, now, the 4th down stands that they made, the 2 interceptions. How would you describe that defense?
I thought, first of all, Zach called a magnificent game, and the coaches and Zach put together a fantastic game plan. And that was a really Minnesota is a really good team. Minnesota is very well coached on both sides of the ball. Their schemes are incredibly challenging on both sides of the ball. And then as you saw them came out, they had a really good game plan. They were doing things that were making it challenging for us in terms of, hey, you want to blitz them? We've got some answers for that. You want to play the pass? We got some answers in running and passing situations, and just a lot of different good plays that they had. I think Coach O'Connell and the whole staff does a great job, and the same thing on defense and with Coach Flores. And they make it tough on you. So it was going to be a grinder type of a game, especially in this environment. So I think both sides of the ball did a great job of handling the grind of the schemes and the good players that they have, and also the environment of the sound and all that. So I'm proud of that. But defensively, with the 3 turnovers, I mean, we had 3 turnovers total, but they had the 2 turnovers, the 4th down stops, the 2-point play stop, and even overcoming some crazy stuff. I mean, they made a couple 4th down plays. We could have been off the field earlier, and our guys didn't crack. So many times when you see situations where that happens, and the very next play it becomes a touchdown. Our guys didn't let that happen. I mean, they left it out there. You talk about a guy like Kyle Van Noy again. I mean, he's in there. He's completely exhausted. He left everything out on that field. He's an example, and everybody is in that same place. So that's the kind of win that it was.
John, those turnovers, you got 8 in the last 4 games, which is a lot more than you had the first 5. What has been the difference in creating those turnovers?
Sometimes, sometimes you get opportunities. So I'm not going to say it's not just sometimes it just kind of goes that way. I don't think we had too many opportunities in the first few games. But I also think you create your opportunities. You create your opportunity by being in the right spots. We could have had a couple more if the ball carried a foot further or something like that. But we had 11 quarterback hits. So a lot of talk about the lack of pressure, but we had 11 quarterback hits and 4 batted balls. Those are passes defended by the D-line and the pass rushers. I mean, that's pretty darn great. So those guys, I thought, had a phenomenal game. The game kind of turned. It turned with the turnovers, the kickoff coverage, the 2-point drive, or the 2-minute drive at the end of the half, where we had hardly any time to go down and get that field goal. Lamar leading that drive, that offense with the crowd and everything else going on, all the pressure. Then to come back out, get the stop, get the turnover, get the score, the touchdown, and then get the fumble and the kickoff. I mean, that turned the game between the second and third quarter right there.
What can you say about Keandre Jackson and that fumble and just the spark he's brought to special teams?
He said he was going to make a name for himself. He told me that. So I think he's doing it, you know. He's not 39 anymore. He's Keandre Jackson. And, you know, we're proud. That guy brings it. You know, he got his first forced fumble, and first forced fumble recovery on the same play.
John, what was the key to that late third quarter drive that ended well into the fourth quarter, where you got the run game going and you had a lot of third down conversions? How big was that in sort of taking control of the game?
That was really big, and you know, I thought Todd really called that drive so well, because he kept the personnel groups moving. He kept the run and pass calls moving. Lamar had a lot to do with that. Lamar wanted to spread them out and run some RPOs there, and Lamar did a great job of executing those RPOs in that situation. I think we really had him off balance, you know, throughout that whole drive, and then just executing with all the crowd noise. I mean, it's a lot easier. It's easy to forget when it goes well, but that's really tough. It's a loud place, as you guys know.
John, just now one
Go ahead, Coach.
You've now won in every opponent's home in the NFL, 31 different teams that you won in their stadium. Is there a sense of pride as an organization now? Because this is a tough league to win in the road, to win everywhere on the road. Not many coaches have that full set.
Thanks, Jerry. I did not realize that. That's cool. That's cool. I just like I mean, at the end of the game, I was pretty choked up inside, and I didn't shed a tear. You know, I wouldn't let that happen. But I mean, just what these guys, just how hard they fought and how much they believed, how much courage they showed. You know, and you know what? We're just 4-5. You know, we're still under 500. So that's where we're at. We recognize that, and we know we're going to have a big fight, a big, tough, knockdown, drag-out fight in Cleveland next week. We know what that is. We understand what that always is. So just to get to 500, you know, and that's what we're going to be fighting for.
Did you guys do anything different to kind of throttle Jefferson and Addison? Not huge games from either.
We didn't do it. We decided not to overdo the double coverage and lean into coverage too much. We ran a robber coverage to him, so the corner could play a little outside leverage, and the safety was sitting on the inside breaks. Thought that was very effective. That's really we rolled the quarters to him a couple times, but that's really still covering the guys. I think the credit goes to the players. I thought our guys did a great job of just covering, and they covered. I mean, I don't know. Some of those pass interference calls, I'm not too sure about, but I thought our guys covered really well and really with discipline the whole game. That's tough against those guys. And we were in single high, playing a lot of man type coverages. So they did a great job. All the corners did a great job, and the safety showed up a couple times too.
We didn't see Marlon towards the end of the game. Is he okay?
Yeah, he's got a finger thing that happened in practice, so he was dealing with that. You probably noticed it all wrapped up there, and he still caught the interception.
Do you think that affected his tackling? It seemed like a couple of times he was reluctant to.
But he made some too. He probably wanted to protect it a little bit, but I didn't see him not make a tackle. I thought he made one on their sideline over there on a screen or something, a check down maybe. He came up and made a big tackle just short of the first down.
John, this is 100 career starts for Lamar.
Yeah.
This doesn't seem like it's.
No, I can't even believe it. I can't even believe it. You know, life is short. Run to the ball. You know, and Lamar does. Lamar epitomizes that. I just couldn't say enough about Lamar Jackson. If you want to talk about his career and his legacy, I mean, I think he's 15-1 against NFC teams. Is that right? It is in their stadium? 14-1. Okay. Do we have another NFC game on the road this year? Try to get 15-1. So we can make that come true too, right? But, I mean, 14-1 against NFC teams on the road is pretty incredible. So he's writing a story, and he's just, in his mind, he's just beginning. It's just in the early chapters, I'm sure.
There's a lot of talk about how loud this is here, and I think you may have had one pre-snap penalty and no turnovers.
Yeah.
How meaningful is that to the coaching staff who've been harping on that kind of stuff in this environment?
I think that's what won the game for us. I really do. I think the poise under pressure, handling the noise, like you said, one pre-snap penalty, no turnovers in this environment, and it's a twofold noise. It's the noise of the crowd, which is incredible, and it's also the noise of the defense. and the noise they create with all their schemes and the way they play, and they're a very physical, tough defense, well coached. So those two things, I got to give our offense all the credit for that.
Okay.
Great, thank you.
Don't get a chance.
Green Bay. All right, let's go.
We'll do Lamar.